here to here.
Okay.
So that's good.
We are doing the new moon reading. The new moon was at 11 p.m., 11:05 p.m. last night. And so we're well within the timing of it.
We would have been here, but
I go to
some of
sleep
us
at
sleep.
10:30, so can't do that. But we are doing an oracle reading using the Prism Oracle cards. We're doing an oracle reading, and we're reading our new moon intention.
New moon, new moon.
New
Should I
moon,
read this?
yeah, go for it.
So the new moon intentions, this reading is working with the moon can be incredibly powerful, and aligning your practice with the moon cycles is a great way to tap into nature's rhythm. The new moon, or dark moon, it is sometimes called spooky,
Mm-hmm.
is a great time for setting intentions and goals. It marks the beginning of a phase during which the moon grows in its illumination, which is ideal for watching your intention grow. This spread can be done on the new moon, or the day before, or the day after the new moon. What should your new moon intention be? Why is this your intention? So, what is your new moon intention be? Why is this your intention? How can you best incorporate this intention into your life and the outcome or lesson for this new moon phase? So here we go. Fatima has already shuffled and cut, if you want to read how that's done here,
Mm-hmm.
to get the cards to be saying the right things for her.
Yeah, so this is my reading, but we will later be doing a reading for the chat also.
Yes.
So this is my reading. We'll discuss it and we'll see what happens. So here is my new moon intention. Ghost. Interesting.
Ooh.
Really interesting for me.
Yeah, that's very unusual. You don't usually get any white cards.
No, no, but like in this, like I'm in a part of my life that's like,
Did it come up?
no, mine, that one's saying it's still coming live later.
Oh, that's weird. I'm searching now also. So
So I have been kind of like not estranged, but like I've been keeping to myself a lot lately. And so Ghost is a lot about like, well, you'll be reading it soon, but I
yeah.
think it's a lot about like things from your past coming back. I don't think it's necessarily like always someone who has passed on,
Mm.
but it could be like even just something that you no longer interact with on a regular basis coming back into your life.
Okay, yeah.
So
And so that makes a lot of sense for what's happening
yeah,
right now.
yeah. So I was really keeping to myself, especially since the pandemic and everything, and um, I'm having other things that come back. Also, I'm probably moving from my childhood home within the next year, and I lived here most of the years that I've been alive, and I there's a lot of stuff here, so lots of ghosts here. So really interesting.
Yeah, this might be giving up the ghost. A lot of the times, what's interesting with these cards is they mean both themselves and their opposite in some ways,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so you might be coming in to the ghosts by moving back and being closer and reconnecting with your family, which you've disconnected from over the last since the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
But also you might be giving up the ghost by leaving stuff, your things from your childhood and things from even our life
Mm-hmm.
together here, because we
Right.
just will not be able to bring it with us.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's going to be a lot of ghosts.
Yeah. So and like I think doing that intentionally is really important because part of me just wants to like just box everything up and bring it and I'll deal with it later. But like that never feels good. It always feels good to like go through and be intentional with all and specific with all of your things. I think things. I'm reading a book, a kind of a weird mystical graphic novel called Junk Wraith, and the meaning of the book is kind of about.
You keep that.
It's kind of like the things in your life. They also have spirits, and they also want to be loved. And okay,
Yeah, that
it's
not on the phone.
okay.
This it was all under here.
So yeah, so that's really interesting. I want to be like really specific and intentional with my things, and like the things that need to go, like thank them for their time.
Yeah, yeah. What is that? There's a Japanese uh
Marie Kondo? No.
there's a Japanese thought
Oh,
process
the spirits.
where yeah, things or have spirits. And you're not supposed to keep things for more than 50 years. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we because then they turn evil.
Yeah, this house is coming up on 50 years,
I
so
wonder if dwellings also. But yeah,
probably if you stay there. Yeah.
yeah. So it's an interesting. Oh, I said hi. It's weird.
Hi.
All right, so let's read Ghost.
Yeah.
So, Ghost. When this card comes up in the reading, it may be because a ghost from your past has been paying you a visit. Your ghost may be something unresolved or repressed or a person or situation from your past. Pay attention to what is coming up emotionally during this time. Why do you think this ghost is coming to you now? What is it there to teach you? All right, I think we covered that. I think that's
Yeah.
exactly what we said. Um, yeah, I also feel very. I've had my stuff thrown away or taken away for different reasons over and over again in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we've moved, I have really freaked out in the
Yeah.
past.
You have PTSD about it.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
I don't feel that way this time.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I know exactly what I need to take.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff we use to make the YouTube videos,
Mm-hmm.
the stuff I use to do my drawing, and like the tools that we use to make our art.
Yeah.
And that's it. And
Yeah.
that's like and clothes, I guess, because you have to wear clothes. And like
Yeah. But
that is such a
But
different life
if your
than
clothes
every other life I've
were
had.
all gone,
I'd be fine.
you would be okay.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm a different person. I've grown a lot.
Yeah.
And I think I know it's like this isn't why I've grown a lot, but doing this and having a like self-reflection has helped me
Mm-hmm.
to observe my growth and to help myself choose to grow continually.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to flip the next one?
Yeah. So
What
this
is why.
why. So why my intention should be ghosts.
I have a guess. Oh, no.
Illumination.
Oh, that's great. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. To learn about yourself, to see things you haven't in ways you haven't seen before,
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
to to have a light on your life and a light in your mind.
Oh, you know what? I got an email recently from somebody who I did email a little bit during the pandemic. But then like it was like hard stop, no more emails.
This is somebody you went to school with.
And then this was someone I went to elementary school with for like a few months.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe a school year, and that's it.
Oh, that is a ghost.
And then he
Was
got,
that this last 2 weeks? I think it might have been at the very start.
Yeah. And like he like got shipped off. And like because of family things he moved back to his home country, and we never saw him again, didn't know what happened, and he found me through something, and he was able to find me and talk to me, and like we chatted a little bit, and then um and then for like whatever reason we weren't talking for like the last few years, and then he emailed me again. So that was very interesting. So maybe that's a ghost that I should be thinking about too.
You got lots of ghosts, babe.
And okay, so illumination, let's hear.
Drawing this card is like turning on a light in a pitch black room. When the room is dark, it can feel unfamiliar, scary, and mysterious. However, once the lights are on, you can see and feel the truth of your situation and approach what you've illuminated with a deeper knowing and ease.
Okay.
So if your ghost is illuminating something for you,
Mm-hmm.
that can be really interesting because maybe yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that the dark, like, should everything that has happened between when the shutdown was to now been like qualified as dark, like not knowing what's happening next and everything, I would not be opposed to that, right? Because
Yeah.
I think that's like really, especially the way that we've been living, we don't know what's happening.
This will be the
Like,
first time once we move, or even now with the move being planned,
mm,
this will be the first time that we will have help
hmm
that we are not like scraping and clawing and asking for.
yeah,
Um, it, that's not entirely true. We've
hmm
had friends who have helped us a lot. I'm not saying
yeah,
that, but like there's a difference between your friends doing what they can and like your family being like, oh, you really need help. Well, let's get you back on your feet.
yeah,
Let's get you recovered from this um,
darkness,
pandemic and this darkness.
yeah,
Yeah. And what's really interesting is I bet you this illumination, like I said before, it works both ways. The cards can work both ways. And I think we are illuminating the darkness that
hmm
they had
yeah,
by opening up and being like, hey, we're here, this is what's going on,
yeah, and
in a way
being
that we were
being
not.
really honest. So I think what this came up with for me, like when we did move back here,
Mm,
early days of pandemic, I was like, okay, it's time to like start getting rid of things, cleaning things up, and like I went through a bunch of stuff. I went through all of the photos in the house, every single photo in the house I looked at, and I did not come out of that feeling good. I came out of that feeling bad, and I was like, the ghosts from my past are illuminating something that I was not allowing myself to illuminate,
yeah.
and I've been recovering from that since. And I think it is good. Like, I know this isn't the full moon release reading that we're doing, but we are doing those regularly as well. So I have my mind on it. And, like, that is something that I could definitely release. I don't need to be thinking about that anymore.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that also. Is like we have been living in a reactionary stance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's time to like that we needed to,
Yeah.
right? We are only here today and healthy and like working on our mental health,
Yeah. Thriving.
thriving because we have been living in a reactionary stance.
Yeah.
We are healthy enough now that we can start being proactive in our own lives and
Mm-hmm.
thinking about not just our recovery, but being recovered.
Yes.
And so, like, that is, in a lot of cases, that's a lot harder because, like, you have to sometimes do unpleasant things or invest something into the future, like time at a bad job,
Mm-hmm.
in order to be able to thrive later.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, that's what I was been thinking about. Um, but I'm in a way, I'm not scared of that because I'm so excited to see us back with 2 feet on the ground
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and like uneven footing.
Yeah. So you even saying back is like we may have never been
We weren't. That's very
there.
true. Yeah,
Uh,
back. Yeah,
so
that's very
it's
true.
even double exciting.
Yeah. We thought we were on even footing. We thought we were thriving,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very clear to us now. I think that we just were not.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
and like we're not. Yeah,
Yeah. And like we think now that we're important enough to actually thrive.
yeah,
I did one day actually say, you're like, I'm really starting, like, this is way back. You're like, I'm really starting to like feel like I'm doing something and I'm doing good. And I turned to you and I said, my biggest hope is that you look back on this time and you think that that wasn't anything.
yeah, yeah. It's when you're an artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to always be able to look back on something you did a month ago, 6 months ago, and be like, oh, that's not as good as I could do it now.
Yeah.
And if that's your goal, you're going to be very great at your art.
Yeah.
And like some people get to a place and they stop seeing the bad in their own work
Mm-hmm.
because like it feels bad to
Yeah.
see yourself, your own work, and be like, oh, I could do better.
Mhm.
And I try to remind myself constantly as an artist, like, see the bad in your own work.
Mhm.
Don't let that stop you from showing it and doing it and using it.
Yeah.
But also be like, how do I make that better next time?
Yeah.
And
Next
let's,
time,
yeah,
not this time.
not this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what we're doing, right? Like, instead of being like, oh, these last years or these last months or whatever has been bad, like, and ruminating on that, we're like, oh, these last years, these last months, we didn't do as good as we could. Let's do better in the next weeks and the next months and the next year.
Yeah.
And like, if we keep doing that, I think we're gonna be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Like on Amazing Race, when you always get second to last,
Mm-hmm.
like you almost get eliminated, but you keep on moving up and up and up.
Yeah, if you get second to
And you
last
get
every
second to
time,
last
you're gonna be
every
second
time.
place.
Yeah.
Like, pretty great.
Or you might win.
Yeah. All right, let's see how you shall illuminate.
All right. I'm excited for this.
Oh,
Space.
hey, that's
That's
a nice
good.
card.
That's
Yeah.
good. I need my space, and I've been whispering it from the rooftops.
I think this is pretty self-explanatory. Self-explanatory. Why am I Ricky, Lucy's husband?
Yeah.
Um,
You have some explanatory to do.
you have some space explanatory. Okay, here we go. You may feel alone and like you can get lost here, but it is important to remember that you can fill this space. What is it that you are looking to fill your life with? This is very good.
Yeah.
Is it certain types of people, a new project? How can you take action toward your goal? The void is only a temporary space, and it is ready to be filled.
Yeah, so I'm like, we talked about how we're moving,
Mm-hmm.
and I am so sad. Like, I'm already having voids, right? From things that I will no longer have access to.
Right.
And when that void is actually a void, it's going to be tough, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really good to remind myself that I can fill that with other things.
Yeah, yeah, and I think we will. I'm not afraid of that. When we've been looking into the place that we're moving, we're not choosing where to move. We are getting help from family, so we were moving to where family is. And when we look at the place, I think the thing we are both looking at is how to fill the void.
Yeah.
Like, what are the things we are going to do to keep ourselves
And like
engaged?
we have a void here also, like from the things that we left the last time, and like we might be able to get a lot of that stuff back.
Yeah.
The things that we have here, especially because they are not only our history, but also actual like history.
Mhm.
Like it holds a lot of space.
Yeah.
Like I am not going to fill the space of another chapel, for instance.
Yeah.
But I cannot, like, because I have that chapel and it takes up this much space, I cannot like go and find some place that's like if I only have this much space left, I can't fill it with something that's this big. So it's like really it's hard to explain what I'm trying to get at right now. But the things that we have holding our physical spaces right now, they're so important. They're the Atlantic Ocean, right?
Yeah.
They're
the chapel we got married in.
The chapel we got married in, the farms, our friends that we've had for
decades, our
30,
whole lives,
40
yeah.
years. And like those are huge things that like take up a lot of space in a good way, in the best way. And that's like maybe we have to fill it like when there's deforestation and then reforestation, like you cut down a really hefty tree but you plant 100.
You know what they've learned is they sometimes now just take in places that have been deforested without a plan. Sometimes they take like a bunch of orange peels or a bunch of palm leaves or whatever, and they just dump it over the ground. And for years they thought like, this is, what are you doing? This doesn't make any sense. Like you're just you're just making it a landfill, right? But there was guys who were like, no, this is what you do. Like, I know this is what you do. I have a feeling or whatever. And it turns out that it reforests.
Yeah.
Basically, it creates a space underneath and it creates an ecosystem that allows the trees that were there and the seeds that are in the ground already to grow back. And I think like we have to remember that we might be in the part like where we are dumping, you know, palm leaves or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
orange peels onto our.
Yeah, yeah, totally. All
All
right,
right.
I'm ready. I'm ready for the outcome and lesson. Let's see. Intuition.
Oh, I guessed energy. Let's see.
Intuition. My intuition has been telling me to not move. So I'm curious what
Well,
I
this is
should.
your lesson, the
Yeah.
outcome, right? Like,
Mm.
um,
Let me hear the reading actually. Yeah, I've been thinking about my intuition a lot.
oh, hello, Kumar.
Oh, hello. Sorry if we missed you.
Oh, yeah, I think we might have missed them.
But thank you so much for watching.
Your intuition. Intuition is an inner knowing that we all possess. Society encourages us to ignore the deep knowledge that sits within us and asks us to use intellect instead. So this is really interesting. I was just telling that story about the reforestation, and science
Mm-hmm.
said no, everyone said no, and there was a couple of different people in different places who both had this intuition
Mm-hmm.
that this was the right thing to do.
Right.
And in some cases they had to really fight to do it, or they got in trouble for doing this thing that they thought was right,
Mm-hmm.
and it turned out to really work. um, but sometimes intellect alone can't guide you where you need to go. The more you pay attention to your intuition, the stronger it becomes. What is your intuition trying to tell you? Where is it guiding you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Hmm. I have also oh I had a video come out yesterday where I talked about my last year since last Memorial Day. And on Memorial Day last year, I fell ill with COVID and sickest I've ever been. And then the recovery time was long. Um, because of that, I stopped doing a lot of my regular routines, especially the physical stuff.
mm-hmm.
And along with that came a lot of the meditation stuff too. It just like kind of fell away, and I've not been honing in or what's the word, like taking care and um like teaching and learning and listening to my intuition as much.
Yeah, centering your intuition.
And I've not been like cultivating that as much as what I had been used to, because I think I started doing yoga sometime in like 2019, and then I did it like almost every day for like 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then I stopped. Like almost. Like it went from like a lot to like completely black, and it's interesting. Yeah, that my intuition it was speaking loudly, but it wasn't like really being taken care of.
I'm really interested because I'm in the same situation, not the same reading, but
Mm-hmm.
we are in the same situation.
Mm-hmm.
My intuition, I think, is saying something opposite of my fear. And
Mm-hmm.
I think a different time, a different me is getting those two confused.
Mm-hmm.
And that just occurred to me.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
your intuition has been saying like
mm-hmm.
let's go ahead. For some time now, for like over a year.
Yeah, I'm terrified.
Mhm.
Very, very scared.
Mhm.
Maybe the scaredest of a move I've ever been.
Mhm.
I think that's true. Um, but yeah, my intuition is still saying this is going to leave us, this is going to be difficult,
Mhm.
and it is going to leave us, we are going to be forged in the fire, and we are going to come out tempered steel.
Mhm. Okay, cool. I think that this was like it just all made a lot of sense.
Yeah, this is the most straightforward reading you've had in a long time.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't you tell a story?
Yeah, so I'm gonna just reiterate a little bit what my video was about yesterday. Oh, we got another
Hello,
card.
Arcana. I don't know what Nagaraju is.
Yeah, we are using these Prism Oracle cards. And we are doing our new moon readings. So now Christopher is doing his shuffle. So he's preparing the cards. He's going
Ooh.
through these. Calm your mind. Touch every card. Put your energy into the cards. Shuffle the cards and feel the card's energy and presence. And then stop shuffling when the cards call you to stop. And then he will then cut the cards into 3 piles and put them back in any order. Same thing, like you kind of listen to the cards and see what's right. And then this will prepare the cards for the drawing. And then the top 4 cards are the cards for this reading. This reading is the new moon intention. We draw 4 cards. We get the new moon intention, the why, the how, the outcome, and the lesson. So these cards came with this guidebook, well loved, because you can see this book is almost falling apart, because we do the readings basically every new moon and full moon, and then we also do some other readings in between. So Nicole Pivarato, she designed these cards, she wrote the book, and they're all based on color. So if I do a quick flip through.
So I think she's asking,
Let's see.
like 6, my husband, Nagaraju is the husband's name. Arcana, that's her reunion. How much time? Time taken, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what you're asking.
Yeah, I think we're having trouble understanding.
But
I apologize.
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sorry. So all of these cards have a different color, and then
I'm ready.
they all have an illustration as well as the word. And the word has lots of different meanings. It means not only what you see in the word yourself, what you see in the colors yourself, but also like what the little reading here is. And we'll be reading those.
Chance says they think the question is how much time until they reunite.
Oh, okay. Has your husband passed? Or is um is that uncomfortable?
I think that's the question. We can check. We can do a reading. I don't know if it's going to answer that specific question.
Yeah.
I've already prepared the cards for my reading, so I'm just gonna. We can power through that a little bit,
Yeah, yeah.
and then we can do a
Yeah.
reading.
We'll circle back. We'll do a chat reading. So please stick around. Thank you so much for the question, though.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Here's my new moon intention.
Faith.
Faith.
Okay.
This is.
I was
good.
already on it.
Yeah, that's how faith works.
Okay. Do you have anything to say before I read it?
I mean, I have faith.
Yeah.
In a way that I've not had in a long time.
Yeah, and I've been wanting you to like reconnect with your worship, which is not necessarily what faith is about.
No, yeah.
But yeah, I've been wanting you to reconnect, or not even reconnect, because that has connotations. To connect with your worship.
Yeah, I worship daily, but in a more in a meditative, enjoying nature, being one with myself.
Yeah.
Type of way, but I do believe in a higher power and sit with that most days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see faith,
see.
because faith has been a hard thing for me.
This card isn't really about belief in a higher power, although if that is part of your practice, you're welcome to infuse it here. It's more about trusting that no matter what, things will be okay. This is an idea that's much larger than yourself or anyone else. Things are moving and shifting all the time, so just keep working toward your goal, whatever it may be, and know that the outcome will lead you exactly where you need to be.
Yeah, I have really struggled with that, and something that has really come to me in the last few weeks and months is my faith that
Mm-hmm.
like whatever I'm doing, wherever I'm doing it, if I'm with you and we're working
Mm-hmm.
towards a goal that we think is good and right,
Yeah.
it's going to be fine.
And if we stay New Yorkers.
Well, that's a preference.
Okay.
Let's see what Y is.
Happiness. Very
Smart.
nice. Very good.
Smart.
Is that a yellow or an orange?
I think it's an orange.
Okay.
Happiness is orange.
Oh, yeah. Happiness is one of the most beautiful feelings, as if the world is shimmering around you, but we seldom acknowledge when we're feeling good and instead focus on when we're feeling bad. So take this time to cherish your happiness, really experience it, and feel its warmth.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is.
so
I'm right in that pocket.
when we were talking about the faith card, and I was talking about my intuition, which it's really interesting that we had like neighboring cards
Hmm.
in our sessions today. But I was thinking like my intuition is telling me to make sure that I don't have the thing that is bad. But like I was telling you a few days ago when I was like really in the dumps about it and then I kind of turned over a new leaf, it was like um, I'm being creatively optimistic
Hmm.
because I am not allowing myself to think how good it could be if things were to change
Right.
because I just believe things won't change.
Chance says it is possible to be happy each day while not living in a bubble. There's beauty all around, and that is totally true. I think like we have both been opening ourselves up
Mm-hmm.
to the world, to the larger world
Mm-hmm.
again after. Well, actually, both of us were shy kids and quiet kids and grew up to be shy and quiet adults.
Mm-hmm.
And like, although we're not like loud and unshy anymore, we are much more open
Mm-hmm.
to the world around us.
Yeah.
And we do experience, we wring the happiness out of life.
Yeah. So
Um,
like what you were saying and what Chance was saying, um, we like to explore things very fractally.
hmm,
And so, like, sometimes it can feel like you're living in a bubble if you're like, okay, I'm going to go to the same place every single day.
yeah,
Or I'm going to now turn left on this road, off of this road, instead of turning right. Like, instead of, like, going to Italy or, like, moving to a different place.
I think going to the same place every single day is a really good example, right? It feels like you're just doing the same thing and you might be living in a bubble, but you're not,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like we went to the beach every single day for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and some days we saw whales, and
Yeah.
some days somebody said they had the best almond croissant they ever had and then told
Right.
us where to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And even though we walked a mile down the road and went to the beach, we were expanding our horizons in a way that is totally different and
Impossible to do
yeah.
any other way.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Let's see what how is.
Okay. Okay, that's great.
This is
Passion.
incredible. Yeah. So I've been following my passion in a way that I never have before. I've been slowly building confidence in following my passion over the last 5 or 6 years. And I am now like totally, my foundation is my passion in a way. And like, yeah, like the foundation of my life is my passion.
Yeah, I think I said passion today or yesterday to you.
Hmm.
I don't remember what about.
I think you said follow your passion.
No. All right. How you perceive passion can depend on what lens you view it through. Passion may be associated with lust and temptation, or it may suggest optimistic action, like a fire in your belly. This card encourages celebrating your passions in whatever form they take. It asks you to acknowledge the flame that sits within you, whether it's a deep conviction, interest, or love. Find what stokes your inner fire, then embrace the excitement that comes along with it.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
exactly. I have two creative passions in my
Mm.
life, and I have always ignored one for the other or vice versa. I really love programming and building things from like ones and zeros in computer code, and I really love illustration.
Mhm.
And I've always done one or the other, and I didn't really have time to do both, I thought.
Mhm.
And over the last like 3 or 4 months, I'm doing both, and they're both thriving.
Yeah.
And like, I never thought I would be able to follow both of those passions,
And
and they're overlap.
and you're feeling more passionate about both of them.
Yeah, than ever before. And I'm feeling more creative. Like, I'm spending less time on either one of them, but I'm so energized that the time I am spending is like is really hitting. Is really so let's see what the next one, the outcome, the lesson. Anger.
Okay, interesting. This card represents an acknowledgement that anger is a natural part of life. It's okay to feel angry.
I have been we've talked a little bit about it. I don't know if you were here earlier. We talked a little bit about the fact that we're moving and it is sort of beyond our control. And I could feel anger. And I do. But it's
Mhm.
not something that I am letting take control of me. It is something I'm going like, yeah, that's a thing, right? I'm angry about stuff, and that's okay. I can be angry and still be passionate and happy and productive and faith and have faith.
Mhm.
Like, this isn't a separate overwhelming emotion that has to replace everything else.
Yeah.
It can just be a thing that is also happening within me.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, there's like the only thing that's worse than anger is suppressed anger.
yeah.
So let's see what the rest is.
And like I have a creative partner that's not my wife, and I was getting angry about different things, and I was not saying it. I was just like getting really angry about it,
Mhm.
and I didn't like think they were a bad person or anything like that,
Mhm.
but I was upset by their actions,
Yeah.
and it wasn't until I was like, "Hey, I'm angry about this," and they were like, "Oh, my bad. I didn't know. I was just doing a thing," and
Yeah.
it blew my mind.
Yeah, because it was eating you alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay to feel angry, but what can you do with the immense amount of energy that comes with it? How can you transform anger into something helpful for yourself and others? So that's similar to what we were saying for my reading is like because we have had such different attitudes and like opinions almost about the next best step.
Yeah.
Like it felt like you weren't allowing yourself to get angry. I wasn't allowing myself to think
Positive.
outside of the box. Like I wasn't allowing myself to think positively about the different outcomes, right? And so as as much as all of this is great, like you cannot sacrifice this for other things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think making sure that when you feel angry about needing to sacrifice the things that make you you, that will make sure that you don't sacrifice this.
This is an incredible reading. I've never seen anything like this.
It's so warm. It's the warmest reading I've ever seen. And you got majority red, so let's take a little
Yeah,
jaunt.
I'm gonna pull my aura card.
Oh yeah, I didn't get one.
Ooh, my aura card's really low today.
Okay, creativity.
Incredible.
Yeah, so that's also a very warm purple.
Yeah.
So let's see. Drawing red cards from this deck signals an almost primordial energy, so fiery and strong that it cannot be ignored. When mostly red cards are drawn in multi-card reading, it means you're being asked to pause and register these powerful feelings and ask how to best deal with this influx of energy. How can you make that energy work for you in a way that's both grounded and productive? How can you bask in its vibrancy without burning out?
Yeah.
Do you want the tidbit about creativity?
No.
Okay.
I think for the aura card especially, I think it's all about a feeling.
Yeah.
All right, this is very good for me. I think like this is true of my life, and then the aura card can give me some perspective and make sure I remember that like all of this is related and influenced and influences my creativity.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and me too. I'm gonna take, since I didn't pull an aura card this time, I'm gonna
yeah.
take yours too, because I think being creative about my intuition is very important to me right now. Because, like you said, right now we might not have a lot of options, so you have to be creative
Yeah.
about the options that you're given.
All right, I'm going to shuffle for chat.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, so we have. I'm gonna refresh just to make sure. So we have some viewers here. So say hi or give us some reactions, emojis, and that will help us to pull a new moon intention card or new moon intention oracle reading for you.
Yeah, I'm going to reach out and be thinking of you while I shuffle these cards. And if you're here today, like this is, you were brought here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's
Yeah.
get you.
Yeah, if you're here today, you're meant to be here and see this. So that means that your energy is in the cards too. If you're watching on the replay, that means that, and you've made it this far, that means you're also meant to be watching this. So you are also part of this, even though you're not here right now while we're reading the cards have that kind of vision.
I say this a lot, probably every time, and it has been proven scientifically that the future has an effect on the past. That we think of cause starting in the past and moving forward through time. But in the universe, it has been proven that that is just not how it works.
Yeah,
That
and it
cause-
only makes sense.
That cause can happen in either in the future or in the past.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter. Something that happens tomorrow could affect the drawing of these cards. That is just. Well, hey, Theseus. Theseus is here right now. Something that happens right now can also affect the drawing of the cards.
Yeah, so thank you for joining. If you have been wondering what to do in this next moon cycle, these cards may help you with your intention. So that can help you with whatever you are doing. Keep these words in mind, and it can help you.
Let's just pull them this way.
Okay. So the new moon intention is going to be hunger. I think pull them, and I'll find them.
Just flip them all or pull them.
No, actually, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you can lay them out. This card is not about the bodily hunger for food, but a hunger for something more. A craving for something that will nourish your soul. It signals a deep wanting for something to fill you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Ask yourself, what are you hungry for?
Hunger is a very interesting card. I think we all know hunger intuitively.
Mm-hmm.
The actual physical need for sustenance. But we also have to remember there's different types of hunger. There's hunger because you need to eat. And there's hunger because you desire something like all sorts of stuff, right? Like attention or creativity or.
And sometimes even when you're eating, like you can eat something and then like you're really lacking in a vitamin that you need or something.
Oh yeah, that is really true. Hunger can be a signal for you to take care of yourself in a way that there's no other way for your body to communicate, right? So some people get suddenly incredibly hungry for like a fruit or broccoli or meat or whatever it is, chickpeas. And that is because you're missing something vital in your life. So if you have a desire, a hunger, a need for something, maybe ask yourself why and what is that trying to tell you? What do you need to fill?
Yeah, and there's some things that like go really easily missed, like human connection or connection to animals or connection to nature. These are things that you could be hungry for and allow yourself to be hungry for years before you fix it, because you don't realize that it's like really.
It is true. Sometimes you're hungry for something and you think you're hungry for something else. It can be hard to. Well, let's see what why is.
Yeah, so the why will help us. Okay, consciousness.
Oh, wow. What a nice.
Consciousness is our ability to feel and sense what is around us and within us, and to tap into a deeper universal connection. Allow yourself to go beyond yourself and your ego. Tune into this consciousness deeply as you move forward on your journey. So that's exactly what I was saying. Sometimes we can let things go because it's not like intellectually or societally what we say we need. But when you really listen to your conscious, then it's going to help you, and will help you like really feed yourself the way that you need to be fed, and then you will be able to be the most intellectual and the most helpful to your community
This
as
is
possible.
this is a really good point because we talk about hunger in often in these polite terms or even worse in terms of something that needs to be conquered.
Mm-hmm.
But hunger is a primal, like it is before your consciousness, before anything, but almost anything, you feel hunger.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a low level um, need.
Basal need.
Yeah, that like you might be hungry to feed your consciousness so that you can have a higher function, a higher level. So like just like Fatima said, but a little bit cards telling me to stay hungry. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Here we go. Oh
Oh,
wow.
how with anxiety, that's so interesting. I don't even know what that means.
So I think I get this. A lot of the time for me, I have a desire or a hunger to do something, and
Mm-hmm.
the emotion that reminds me and keeps that hunger, or the way that that hunger expresses itself in my daily life, or not my daily life, but in my life, is an anxiety, is me being afraid I'm not getting what I need, or me being scared to do something or not do something. And that to me can be like the base hunger of creating art, right? Like you're not going to feel something in your stomach to create art. And I think sometimes I mistake that need, that hunger to create art as an anxiety of not creating art or something like that. So
Right, right.
I think
Yeah.
hunger and anxiety are weirdly linked, not just because this looks like a craft dinner.
Yeah. When you're feeling anxious, it is usually because you are very worried about something that has an uncertain outcome. When this happens, we write a script in our heads, creating an outcome that is most likely far worse than the actual outcome. Try your best to stay in the present and not focus on events that haven't occurred yet. So, I think we can tie this into the hunger card and the consciousness card, because if you really like, anxiety comes from intellect
Mm-hmm.
almost completely.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, if you really listen to your intuition and you listen to your consciousness and you like really listen deep in, and like your hunger, which is a basal need, and it ignores all intellect, um, then like sometimes like we talk about, the how is not like to follow your anxiety. Sometimes it needs to like
To release.
clear it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And so just like the chakras, you can have a blocked chakra or you can have an open chakra, and so like
Yeah.
sometimes it has both sides of it.
I was saying my experience with anxiety, but I should have been saying like what that means, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what that means is I have to overcome this anxiety
Mm-hmm.
of like, oh no, I have to create art so that I
Mm-hmm.
can actually feed my hunger of being creative
Yeah.
instead of just chasing the anxiety away.
Yeah.
And I think that that's exactly what you're saying. Sometimes the how, it's not like, oh, you need to be anxious. It's
Mm-hmm.
you need to release your anxiety.
Yeah. So we have been like, so just like every other artist, every other craft person, we have had various success in art shows and craft fairs that we do, and it when we can do exactly the same, like monetarily, and feel, one day we can feel really really terrible about it, and one day we can feel really really good about it, and it's all about the anxiety.
Yeah. And we can bring the exact same stuff to sell,
Mm-hmm.
and one day it sells really well and we make a lot of money, and one day nobody even looks at us. And like, again, that like can make you feel really anxious. Like, what do I need to change? What do I need to do? Like nothing, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe nothing. You were successful one day, not the next. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean you did anything wrong the second day.
Sure. Yeah, because you what was I? Yeah, because I think when you get more creative and you get more like into your flow and you're like spending a lot of time, you start to get anxious because you're like, I could spend like if I spent this much time making X amount,
Yeah.
like then like that
Something that
would be
we
better.
have that I have implemented in my own journey in order to stave off this anxiety of saying like if only I had done it to 110%, or if only I had gone maxed out my ability and done the last 6 hours of this little project.
Mm-hmm.
I've started making a rule where I can only work to 80%,
Yeah.
and it has changed my life. 80%, people don't notice the difference between 80% and
And
100%.
80% is so good.
Yeah.
Like if I got 80% of like most things,
Yeah.
it would be too much.
Yeah. All right. The lesson and the outcome. Here we go.
Oh, intuition like
Intuition.
me.
Wonderful.
We're intuition twins. I'm gonna read it again. Thank you for coming in, even if you're a little late. You're right on time for this card. Intuition is an inner knowing that we all possess. Society encourages us to ignore the deep knowledge that sits within us and asks us to use intellect instead. But sometimes intellect alone can't guide you where you need to go. The more you pay attention to your intuition, the stronger it becomes. What is your intuition trying to tell you? Where is it guiding you? So, my intuition, I was already talking about intuition way back here.
Yeah.
and then all through all the other cards too.
Hmm. Right. Right. Reason is the circumference or the bound of energy. I don't know the quote, but I think I understand it. Right? You exist outside or inside of reason in this metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
You do things and you are hungry and you're conscious and you get anxiety, and all without ever encountering reason. And the only reason you need is messing up William Blake quote. Right. So the reason is the interface between your mind and yourself and the outside world. It is yourself trying to explain why you're doing a thing. But you're not doing it because of the reason you say. The reason is just what you say because you're doing it. I hope that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
This is like, yeah, I think this is very good. You have a hunger that you either need to feed or you need to stay hungry, as Theseus said. And then why? Because you're feeding your consciousness, right? You are expanding your consciousness. You are solidifying your consciousness. You are exploring your consciousness through anxiety, either letting that flow through you or like listening to it. Like I in my example that I had to listen to it a little bit in order for it to subside. And all of this will help your intuition and to help you kind of feed back into your consciousness, right? How do you feel about that?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anxiety, even though it's chartreuse, it is considered a yellow card. So this reading has a majority yellow. So you get a little extra. If you draw mostly yellow cards in a reading, it may be a prompt to take a look at the duality of a situation.
Oh
That's
my
what
gosh,
we-
I just was
Yeah,
saying the
that's what
two
we were
different,
saying.
yeah.
Yellow itself has many double and contradicting meanings. So, how is this duality arising in your life? Are you perhaps a little single minded in a single minded state and not able to see other perspectives? Take a moment to look at the situation from all angles and then trust what feels right to you.
It can be really hard. That lesson there can be so hard because it feels like it doesn't make sense, right? But just like we exist in the real world, like in quantum mechanics, you can be in more than one state at once. And that's just true of things in the real world, right? You can be full and still be hungry. You can be anxious and know you're doing the right thing. Like, they're not opposites necessarily.
Mm.
And like, it can be hard to live in that state where you're accepting of both. Let's draw an aura card, and then it's starting to get loud over here, so I think we're gonna have to
Yeah.
wrap up.
Thank you so much for coming. This has been our most popular
Here, choose an
oracle
card.
card reading. Determination. So even more yellow for you.
What an excellent aura card for this reading.
Do you want to read it?
I'll read the determination. Yeah, so an aura card for us, this is separate from the instructions. We just started doing it because it felt right to us, which is the thing you got to do, right?
Yeah.
And it has really helped us get clarity or find a deeper understanding of our readings.
Mm-hmm.
Determination can give you the energy to reach your goals. This card lets you know that the summit of the mountain is within your reach. Really take a moment to tap into this feeling and this extra energy. Also, if you're feeling tired, don't be afraid to ask people for help or to look at the obstacle in a new way to renew your spirit. So again, a double-sided card, a two-faced card,
Yeah.
where like your determination doesn't have to be all your own. You can be determined and still failing or still not succeeding and ask for help because you're determined to get this thing done. It doesn't have to be self-determination. I mean, it does, but it doesn't have to be you doing all the work.
Right.
I talk about my programming job. I'm working on a program. I'm working on a project with a friend. I wanted to do this forever and ever and ever. I was determined to do it, and I was incapable of doing it myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked for help, and
Yeah.
now it's getting done. And that was because of my determination. And often in today's society, we talk about determination as if it's like a singular one person, like going through climbing the mountain and making it all the way to the top by themselves. But that's ridiculous. Even the people who climb the tallest mountains in the world have help, bring
Mhm.
people, hire people to help them.
Yeah.
And that's,
10 things.
yeah. All right. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Then the next full moon is on June 11th. So we should be back on June 11th doing another reading. And we will see you then. And if you liked it, please come back, subscribe for more. We've been doing this every 2 weeks, or every full moon and new moon for a while.
Yeah, and we really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Theseus, for coming. And yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you in the future. Thank you in the present. Have a great day. And see you next time.